I'm super excited and so grateful that you're here. I started this podcast so we could have some conversations that would hopefully help turn the messy into healing. If that idea sounds good to you, you must be a pathfinder too. Let's get started. Hi, welcome back to Talks Too Much. This is from the Behavior series, and I've got another wonderful parent to talk to that's so brave and courageous and wants to talk things through with me in the Let's Talk It Through series that I did. This is Stephanie Howie, and I'm going to just let Stephanie introduce yourself and just kind of say why you're here.
Yes, so I am Stephanie Howie. I am from Plymouth, Massachusetts, and I have 3 little boys, and an adult child. That's what I like to call them. Their dad, just to be clear. So my oldest is Jameson, and he is 6. I have Giovanni, who is 5, and Stefano, who is 2. So lots of things happening here. My 2 oldest have autism diagnosis. My middle son, Giovanni, also has Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And we kind of won the genetic lottery. And during the whole genetic testing, we found out there's chromosome duplications. We have whole gene mutations, which cause mitochondrial disorder. So there's all types of stuff mixed in with my kids.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so go over the ages again. Your oldest one is
Okay.
how old?
6.
And
So
then
Jameson's
Giovanni's
6.
how old?
He's 5.
Wow, they're close together. Okay, and what was your little? What's the little one?
Stefano is 2. So yeah, they were almost exactly 18 months apart to the day. And we'd always planned on, possibly having 3. But after all of the diagnosis with Jameson and mostly with Geo, it took us a little longer to figure out, where we were at.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah.
understandably so. It's a lot.
Mhm.
And it's amazing to me. I don't know, just from speaking to other people in our Duchenne community, it's just amazing how many of us that have kids with Duchenne have other kids with other rare stuff. I found out late,
I found that too.
yeah, I found out later in life that our other son, Oliver, has a rare condition as well. So it's crazy, like how this happens. So your oldest son was diagnosed with autism before you found out about the Duchenne?
No, so we got the Duchenne diagnosis first. So Gio was only, I'm gonna say, we got his diagnosis by the time he was 4 months old, which I know is rare in itself. 5 years ago, it was anyways,
For
before
sure,
like all
it's still
the
still is
testing.
crazy.
So he was having failure to thrive, um, wasn't taking any type of food and all of that. So we started all the testing. Jameson was only a year and a half at that point. He was talking, he was running around, bouncing off the walls. Like there was nothing I, as a first time mom, had noticed. There were things that other people were picking up that I hadn't at the time. Um, so when we started getting all of the genetic and metabolic tests for Geo to figure out what was going on, we started having early intervention come in, and that's when they were kind of picking up on things with Jameson. So one of the biggest things was when Geo came home from the hospital, he went from having like a, a decent vocabulary to all of a sudden just saying baby. So I thought it was just like an older brother thing, like, my little brother just came home and I'm just fixated on baby now. But so with all of that, that came more testing and
So he did have a speech delay. Your first one had a speech delay.
so it wasn't even like he definitely had a lot of singular words. He wasn't putting any, but so I
Right.
thought he was doing fantastic. I mean, he was counting, he was doing the ABCs. I mean, at a year and a half, like you're not, especially if they're saying multiple words, you're not noticing much. But he did regress a bit. once Geo came home. And then, yeah, the speech was one of the things that they first picked up on. But he was
Okay.
also, I had no idea what it meant, but he was aligning his toys up by size,
Yeah.
by color, by like,
Yeah.
it was incredible, like
Oh my
the way
gosh.
that his brain
My
works.
kid used to line up his Matchbox cars and there'd be a line through the whole house. Like, like, oh my God, it would go on forever and he'd spend hours doing it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we had
Yeah.
that
I
too.
had no idea. I was like, this is the coolest
Oh,
thing ever.
neat. I
And
know.
I'm a
He's so
designer, so
organized.
yeah, I'm like, oh, you got your color matching from me. I love it.
I
But
know.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. I know. I've been there. Oh my God. So tell me what it looks like what it looks like now. I've gone over this. I feel like I'm always repeating myself, but I forget, that some people watch one episode and then other people don't watch any others. And so I don't want to repeat myself, but I have to say this over and over is because it's such a misunderstanding. Autism has nothing to do with IQ. It is all a communication issue, right? And so I got into behavior. And I don't want to redundantly give my background in every episode either, but I do want people to know this isn't just a mom. Like, I mean, I am a mom. I have a wealth of information because I've been doing it for 26 years. But the other part of it is that I do have an academic background in behavior. And the reason that I got that was because behavior is communication. That's all it is. And people want to make behavior so many different things. Of course, they want to take it personal. We as parents want to take it personal, right? It's all a reflection on us, which makes us completely ineffective at managing it. Um, and so when I got my academic background in behavior, it was because, you know, the communications delays and challenges in autism. Like even the kiddos with autism that really can articulate words and can put words together, they still end up with communication issues like reciprocity, going back and forth, or asking people questions, or, being interested in other people. That's a
Hmm.
communication issue. And then also, anytime that you can't get your need met, your basic need met, every human is going to use behavior to do that. So behavior really is just communication. So I always kind of drill that because it just, no one wants to talk about behavior. That's why this series has been really hard to start. This is why I'm so grateful that you're doing this because I go on social media and all I see are parents upset about their kids' behavior and looking for help. And then when I chime in and want to help, or anybody else chimes in and wants to help, it's crickets. And it's like, well, do you not really want help, or do you just want to vent, or is it just so emotionally charged and so personal that you just can't talk about it. And for me, I've been doing this for so many years. To me, it's science. It's not as personal. Well, there is a personal element to it because if we're unhealed,
Yeah.
the people around us are impacted by that, right? So there is a personal element to it, but not in the way that you think. It's not because like your parenting is bad, right? And so I just like to clear that up. I always got to say that. I know I might sound redundant to people that listen to me often, but I can't say it enough. So, whether your kids had speech delay or not, they're just that. Do you see a lot of communication challenges? Tell me about that. Tell me what
Oh,
your house looks like.
our house, our house is, we call it like complete chaos all the time. So between me and James, my partner, I mean, it's a lot. I mean, three kids is a lot anyways. We had them later in our life as well. So, I mean, we're just, as a first time parent, you're trying to figure everything out. And then you add some diagnosis in there, communication delays, and then you have to learn all these things. And I mean, neither of us come from a background of knowing any of that.
Right.
So so let me give a little background. So once we got the diagnosis for Jameson and Geo, I mean, we've brought them to every specialist there are. Jameson went through full ABA, did great with that. Geo did ABA for a little bit, but it wasn't so much for him. It worked really well with Jameson and his needs. They both
So I don't mean to interrupt you. I just want to clarify when you say ABA,
an
because
ABA
ABA is
center.
actually the name of the whole thing. People mistake it for discrete trial training, which is
Yeah,
sitting at a table.
yeah.
Okay.
So they had it. So they went to a center that did a lot of that. They
Okay.
had I we had people that RBTs that would come here
Okay.
and work with them, but it was a lot of play base. It wasn't so much. There was some sitting at tables, but it wasn't based solely on that.
Okay.
And that worked incredibly for Jameson.
Yeah,
He went from nonverbal, and I mean, he probably would have gotten more of his words anyways, even without that. But they both went to inclusive preschool, which was really based on kids with special needs. And then they had like pairs in the class that, you could have your kid go and be a peer. So it was great for them. They had incredible schooling until now, which they still do. Um, so Jameson went from pretty I mean, he had like singular words, but he wasn't able to put them together. To now he talks all the time from when he wakes up until he goes to bed. Um, but he is extremely emotional. He's feels what everyone feels. He's
of
very,
course.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And then exactly, he
yeah,
has some
that's
big
part of
feelings.
that sensory, yeah, sensory
Yeah,
integration, which I'm sure you're familiar with that,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Our kiddos that have ADHD or autism, um, they're gonna have a lot of sensory integration issues, and they're just walking sensory, which makes them so sensitive they feel everything, which is a
Yes,
can be a huge gift, right? If we learn how to use it as a superpower.
such a caring child.
Amazing, right? But
Mhm,
it has it makes things complicated too sometimes. So
mhm.
go ahead.
So
Sorry.
then there's Geo, and um, so he got his autism diagnosis, which I know is pretty common with the Duchenne diagnosis as well.
Yeah.
Probably when he was about 2, but he presents much differently than Jameson
Yeah.
did. And he's still pretty nonverbal. He has an AAC device, which we're trying to figure out.
Okay.
He he's had a lot of he's been my laid back, like easygoing, happy, like go lucky child. And Jameson had a lot of behavioral challenges when he
Like
was young.
outbursts. When you say
Yes.
challenges, you mean
Yeah,
outbursts,
like
right? Okay.
would hit, would like just there were a lot of things where he was seeking, like, he wasn't
Yeah.
able to communicate, and he was also seeking sensory input and things like that. G was very different. So but this past year he's actually started hitting his head when he gets frustrated because he's not able to communicate certain things.
Okay.
So his
Hitting his head on
brain,
what?
anything.
Anything.
So
It's
I
not
mean,
the
it's
object. It's not a certain object.
uh,
It's the act of hitting his head.
yes.
Okay.
So,
So
and
I can
if there's nothing next to him, he'll try to hit
okay.
himself in the
Okay.
head.
So
Um,
that I can address that I can address. It's a short call, and I wonder if we hopefully this goes well and you want to talk again so
mhm.
we can
Absolutely.
do this because this is a lot, a lot. Like
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's a lot, right? Because it's a lot. So I mean, the first thing I want to address because I just want you to get something out of today's call, right? Um, is so I heard two things that I mean just the overreaching stuff. The not little, the specific stuff like hitting your head, yelling, throwing fits. I can help with tips on that stuff, okay? And we'll go through, before the end and you'll leave with a few tips to get started, okay? But the overreaching thing I'm going to just say is that the first couple things I heard um is it's chaos all the time. Okay, so number one, you have to get control back of your household. That's like number one. And that's above even fixing the specific stuff. Like I can give you specific stuff. I can help with the head hitting. We're going to figure out the function of that, which it's going to be either connection or it's going to be sensory. And because it doesn't
Oh
sound
yeah,
like a,
there's a lot of sensory there.
yeah. Well, okay. So if it's
But it's
hitting,
also that he's frustrated or not able to communicate what he
right,
wants. So it's
exactly.
the
Exactly. And so you'll watch when he hits, just real quick, I'll just tell you this. When he hits, start paying attention. Take data right now in your head. Is he trying to escape? Is it when you put a demand on him? Is it
yeah.
when you say, come here or do this, and he doesn't want to do it? So
Or
does
if he doesn't get what he wants type of thing, or if he wants something and
okay,
he's not able to communicate it, then he starts getting frustrated because he can't tell you what he
okay.
wants.
So
Or
that's different than escaping a task. So
yeah, it's not so much like, oh, come on, let's get in the car type of thing. It's like he needs something, or if he has to go to the bathroom and he's not able to say it, or he had an accident and wasn't able to communicate, or it happens very specific times when I've noticed he's not been able to tell you quick enough what he needs, or he doesn't know how to like say it. Like if we go past like a movie that he liked, if we're scrolling for a family movie night and we scrolled past the one he wanted and he wasn't able to say it or
yeah,
point
I
or
got
do
it.
anything,
Okay.
then he gets upset.
So just so you know, in behavior, it's the functions that I harp on. It's escape, meaning you're putting tasks on them that they don't want to do. That's one function. Another function is a lot of people call it attention. I hate that because attention has now become this negative thing. And since when is it bad that kids want attention? So I call it connection because they're just seeking connection, which in this case, although it could be tangible items that he's trying to get, it's still like a connection. He's trying to get you to hear him. Okay? So
Mm-hmm.
it's still based and rooted in connection. And then the third function of a behavior would be sensory. The only way you know if it's sensory is if he does it in a room alone. Okay, so if you put him
Yeah.
in a room alone and he's hitting his head, which I had one of those cases that nobody could figure out, and that's because they kept thinking it was attention. They kept doing the intervention based on attention, and it was actually sensory. So we got him one of these stretchy rubber bands to replace the behavior, and he ended up
Oh.
stopping. We didn't know that until we put him in a room alone and saw that he was still doing it without attention. Okay, so we're pretty sure just based on this quick conversation, I'm not, there taking data and watching like I normally would, but we're saying it's connection. So I'm going to give you, before we leave, I'm going to give you a way to start working on your connection with him and your other kids.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a way to do that.
So
And
really quick, so the connection part, I would love to see like I think the hardest part with the connection is having trying to figure out all three of them who are seeking connection.
right, and I can help you
Yeah.
sort of organize it into it won't be perfect because you've got three, and it's
Yeah.
probably like herding cats, right? But if you do this thing I'm going to teach you at the end, if you do that, then you can do it with all three, and it will at least satiate some of the need. It
Awesome.
won't fix it, but it'll tamper it down a little bit so it can get more manageable. Okay. And he's got an AAC advice device that he's working on.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, until he learns that, have you ever done a book of like pictures of things that he commonly wants or places that you commonly go so he can point?
Um, so we've done lots of different things. Like I've had sheets, yeah, where he can use like for communication as well.
Okay,
Um,
so I had
and he does use some words. He's just
but he
it's a
wants
lot
to do
harder for
more. Like one
yeah,
word is not sufficient to tell
yeah,
someone how you
exactly.
feel. So oh, so that's where you're going to come in. So like I
Mhm.
had pictures all over our house. It's called PECS,
Okay.
right? Picture Exchange Communication System. And I had pictures all over our house and in a book. Like, so the pictures in the house were things that, on the fridge were the five things he would normally ask for.
Mm.
Okay. In the cupboard, the pictures on the front of the cupboard were the five things he would normally ask for. Okay. But then I had
I
a
have
book.
not done anything like that. So
Try it. Okay. And teach him to start pointing to what he wants and then saying the word and having a conversation with him about it as you give him the item. You have to give him the item every time. And it doesn't matter if it's like 5 minutes before dinner, because that's not the point. The point is to constantly and consistently reward him for
Yeah,
trying. Okay.
he's definitely gotten some strange things at strange times
That's
because
fine.
he's been able to communicate it.
Like, we don't care about that right
Yeah.
now, right? Okay. We can clean that up later. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So your 5 things on the cupboard and your 5 things on the fridge. Okay. And then for in 5 things in the bathroom and 5 things in his bedroom, just the most common go-tos, toy chest, whatever. Then you're also going to have a book. You know, you can buy those books at Target that are like see-through or plastic and you slip pictures in
Mm-hmm.
them or whatever. And that's the common places he wants to go and common things he wants to do. Okay, that you can't put a picture on an actual item. And then you have the book, and he'll go to the book and say, I want the book and I want to show you what I want to do. Instead of just getting it to him so he'll stop, this is going to be an opportunity to form a connection and to start working with him. And I'm going to talk to you about that. And you'll take 3 to 5 minutes on each item to settle in and be 100% present with him. And that's what's going to ultimately, it's called pairing the reinforcement. You might have heard of this already, but
Mm-hmm.
the reinforcement is the idea of what he wants, or I mean, the item of what he wants, right? So I want that. When he gets that, that's the reinforcement that's going to keep him doing it. Okay. But you taking 3 minutes to be fully present with him, I mean, in your body, fully present, having a little bit of a conversation, just stopping the world for a minute. That's going to be paired with that item. So pretty soon, eventually, you are going to be the reinforcer more than the item. And that's what we want. Okay.
I like that. That's
Okay,
cool.
good, 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 good. So that's one quick and dirty. And I'm talking really fast, but that's because I want to
Yeah.
get some good stuff in. I want you to leave with something that
Mm-hmm.
you haven't heard before from your other therapists. Okay. So the overreaching issue that I think you should start working on, I would do that. I would do that for all your kids, whatever. You can do a version of that for everybody. Before we leave, I'm going to teach you an RDI exercise, which is called Relationship Development Intervention. It's Stanley Greenspan. If you're a reader and
Okay.
you want to get the book, okay. I'm going to teach you how to do that because guaranteed, I heard you say 2 things. One, there's chaos all the time, and then I did hear you refer to your husband as another kid.
Yeah.
Okay, and not to
I
get
love him
sensitive.
very much.
And of course you do. Of course you do. And I bet he's wonderful. And all of us women treat guys like this. And and there's good reasons why we feel that way sometimes, but it also really undermines what's going on. Okay? And it's a much bigger issue than you think. Okay. So we're going to need to talk about it at some point, okay? Um so what I hear is that there's chaos because I'm guessing you're tired, you're exhausted, you're overwhelmed. You feel probably a little bit of I don't know, do you feel any guilt or any kind of shame for all of this?
Um, for the chaos, or I mean, I guess a little bit of everything.
For the
Yeah.
situation that you're in?
So absolutely. And just a little bit about myself. Like I've always had sensory challenges. I have ADHD.
Oh,
I
okay.
have I have one of the chromosome duplications that I found out um causes autism and ADHD and
Hmm.
delays and all of that stuff as
Okay.
well.
Well, that
So
explains the chaos, girly.
so as it is, it's hard enough to kind of manage and like my own challenges. And then like the sounds, like the touches, like all of that. Like I love snuggling my boys, but like when it's pure chaos and there's so much going on, like even like James will come up and like try to comfort me or something or touch me and it's just like don't touch me. Like I just can't be touched.
Yeah.
Like it's just I need to be in a, but I did get like these like loop things. I've tried like, so I'm trying different things, but yes. So I definitely don't help the chaos sometimes, and
Right.
I get overwhelmed as well. And the hard part for me is like I know how to individually and can like work with each one really well. But when all three of them have three different needs, I mean, all of us have different needs, and it's all happening at the same time.
Yeah,
And my brain isn't even capable of like moving that fast.
I
And
know.
then so that's a huge challenge for me.
I understand. Okay, good. I'm so glad we're getting down. I had a feeling. So, I have ADHD, and I'm gonna tell you a couple things that I hope you hear. One, um, I don't know. I had like a almost a guilt too that I handed some of this down, right? And so in a way, and I'm not saying this is your experience. I'm just sharing mine so you can feel comfortable that it's safe to say it out loud because it helps. But I personally felt like I was being punished with all of this. Like there was just this feeling like this is my punishment, versus, you know, I got this because I'm going to do something really special with this, which
It's
I,
funny because I feel like a lot of people feel like, just speaking with other moms that like go through a lot of this, I feel like a lot have that like at some point in their story. Like when I first got the Duchenne diagnosis and then the autism diagnosis, like it was immediately I thought about people I've hurt in the past or different things,
yeah,
or like,
karma.
realizing how 100% and
Yeah,
realizing how little certain things actually are in the scheme of things, in the scheme of life. Like it just, I realized a lot when this came about. So I've definitely felt that guilt at some point. I don't know if I feel it as much now. Like I understand where everything stems from, and I am 100% open to talk about anything.
right,
I'm
right, right.
an
You
open
seem
book.
that way, thank God.
Yeah. I need to figure out how to make it all work.
So just technically, admin wise, okay, you have ADHD. It's very hard
Hmm.
for you to organize your house anyway. Okay. And these are three kids for a variety of reasons, even your little, because your little's going to have
Yeah.
repercussions from the whole thing, right? I mean, there's little bits of trauma, and I don't mean trauma like, you're beating them. I mean, micro traumas, right? That like they're living in a state of fight or flight.
Yeah.
That's not that creates their own issues, okay, being so little developmentally. So it's like the three are one picture, okay? So you you have to make your number one priority is yourself and getting your house back under control. Number one priority, not them. Like, you got to keep them fed and keep them alive through the day. Okay. But besides that, right now, when you're spending so much time trying to fix every little thing, you're not spending time on the big picture of putting some structure in place. You've got to have structure. You can't, our kiddos are the worst. Like, whenever I do work with schools and stuff, always during recess, always during downtime, because our kiddos don't do well with structure. You and I, having ADHD, do not do well without structure. We always want our
Not at
freedom.
all.
We want our freedom because it feels good and it's what we yearn for. But after a little bit of it, we're kind of a mess, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So you have got to get your house structured. Okay. This is where maybe your husband can come in help, because the other thing, and this is a whole nother podcast episode we could do. I'm doing a capsule on relationships. Men,
Great, because I need that.
yeah, and so I'd love to have you visit on one of those. Men have got to feel like they're helping or they're fixing. They've got to feel like they're contributing. And when we make them feel like little kids and that they don't have anything good to offer, you are just opening a huge bag of issues by doing that. And so, granted, people will say, well, it's not my job to make him feel this way. He's got to get his shit together himself, right? Yes, absolutely, 100%. But it will serve you and your kids to find jobs for him that he can really excel
Hmm.
in that you can't do because of your ADHD. So
And I'm definitely at fault for doing things like
yes,
that.
and we
So,
all are, and we take it on, and then we're martyrs because we took it all on, and then
hmm.
we're upset because we have no support. A lot of us do it. I don't want to say all of us, but a lot of us do it. Someone got upset on social media the other day because I called myself a martyr in context of conversation to this other mom. She knew what I meant. She knew I meant me. This other mom chimed in and just freaked out on the word, and I'm like, well,
Mhm.
I'm just talking about me, and I'm just saying it in sort of almost a playful way because I did learn that I had a lot of victim behavior. And you can't help it because you're in this
Mhm.
situation like, holy crap, I can't believe this is happening to me. Of course, you're going to slip into self pity. And when you do that too often, it creates kind of a victim, learned helplessness kind of attitude. And I'm not blaming anyone for that. I'm not even blaming myself when I did that, but you got to get out of that and you got to take your power back. And you're really
Yeah, I
powerful.
do stuff like that a lot, and
Sure, we
I
all
slip
do.
in and
And
out, and it's
like kudos to you for
mm,
admitting that, right? Because a lot of that's number one step is that you know that. So you can go, oh, I'm doing that again. Okay, I got to stop doing that because although it feels good at the moment, because I'm taking the responsibility off me for 30 seconds
yeah.
intellectually or emotionally, it goes nowhere because you got it back a few minutes later. So it doesn't it's very ineffective. Okay. So the other thing too is by making him not helpful, it just reiterates, how hard
Hmm.
things are for you. So we got to get out of that cycle.
Yeah.
We can spend more time on that later, but for right now, find 3 to 5 things that he can do that you can't do. Sit down and make a list of 3 to 5 things that you're really bad at that he's really good at.
I could definitely do that. So,
Okay. And give him that and say, this is your project, go. And don't criticize how he does it. Let him do it however he wants to do it and know that he might even at the end of the day have a better idea than you because you couldn't do it in the first place. That's why you assigned him
that's
the
a
task.
hard part too.
I know, but if you assigned him the
No,
task, it's
yeah.
because it wasn't your strength. So let him shine. He's got to find a way to shine or you guys are in trouble. I'm just telling you that right up. I have enough experience to be able to tell you that.
Absolutely.
He's got to find a way to shine. He needs you to tell him he can shine, or you guys are in trouble. Okay? All right. So the next thing is you got to get your house under control. So you got to get times and structures. Like even when you have Saturday and you think, oh, I can finally breathe, you have to build in time to breathe. Don't just stop everything and try to take time to breathe. Schedule time to breathe. And during that time, we're gonna talk later about how to take care of yourself, how to get out of fight and flight. You got to get out of fight and flight. You've got to get your central nervous system aligned. You've got to stop walking around all day activated. Because you're doing that, your kids are reacting to that. So no matter what behavior things we put in place, they're temporary band-aids
Hmm.
because they're just reacting to your state. And I'm not saying it's your fault.
Oh no,
I'm
it's a
saying
lot of times I am
yeah,
overstimulated and
I'm
all of
saying
that,
it's a
and it
water,
does
I'm
not
saying
help.
your family lives on a waterbed. And
Hmm.
when someone moves, everyone feels it. So I'm just saying, you don't look at it like, oh, another thing. I'm responsible for the whole family. You're powerful enough to help the whole family. That's a paradigm shift. You have power to make all this better.
So here's a question for you. How it's the scheduling and time
Yeah,
schedule that my brain does not comprehend.
right.
Like, so it's like I almost feel like actually be something that I could have him help me with because
Yep.
I look at times and I'm just like I can't
Okay. Yes.
even.
So with ADHD, we have now and not now. Right? And
Yeah.
so we have a lot of trouble like making schedules and sticking to them. And then we pick our to-dos based on what we feel like doing. So like we may make a schedule, but if we don't feel like doing it at that moment, we don't. Okay? So we have
Hmm.
discipline issues with that, right? So, yes, let him do that if he shines in that area. If he's also an ADD or that's not going to help. But if he can do that, if he's got structure to him, does he?
He does. Yeah.
Okay,
He's
so he needs to start with
much
a
better
schedule.
at that.
Yeah, have him start making a schedule, even for Saturday. Okay, he takes them for an hour in the morning to do this activity while you do sensory work for yourself so that you're not activated and you're aligned for the day. And now you come in and you give him an hour to go do blah, blah, blah. And now the next hour, we're all going to go to the park. And the next hour, we're going to eat lunch. I mean, you need to do that to get your house under control. And even their activities are not necessarily all free play at this point, just until you get things. They eventually will have that. I'm not talking
Mhm.
forever here. I'm just talking to get your house in order. It really needs to be even structured activities. Okay, like so and so
Mhm.
can do this while so and so does that, and so does this. You're on him, I'm on him, he's with blah blah blah. If your husband struggles to do the structure, have him try, because that's where we want. If he shines,
Mhm.
we're going to give him that job permanently. Okay.
Mhm.
If he doesn't, you've got a friend that's neurotic and great at that, right? That can come over and help you, I'm sure. Or the other thing is we have AI now. So if you're
Oh,
not
that's
using
true.
like ChatGPT and you're not dumping everything into it and asking it to create a schedule for you, you're wasting a good tool. So if you
I
get
never
it,
even think about that stuff.
yeah. So if
So,
you pay $20 a month for Chat GPT and you get in there and you say, these are my kids, this is what it looks like, these are their favorite things to do. We've got 8 hours today. We've got to eat, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. There's two of us to manage them. I need a schedule. And it'll spit you out a schedule. And then you say to it, I don't like the way you did this. I don't like the way you did this. Fix that, fix that. And before you know it, you've got a working schedule to start with.
that's incredible.
Okay, so do that. Use AI. AI is the best thing that's happened to ADDers. I use it for everything. Okay. I even use it to tell me when to leave. Like, can you remind me to leave in 15 minutes? Because I'm going to get distracted because I'm going to get involved in my work and I'm going to be late.
Awesome. Didn't even
Timers
know it
for
could do that.
you, timers for you, timers for your kids, timers on everything. Just for a little while. You'll get a sense of how this works. You'll get a sense of order. Everybody will get in routine, even you, and you won't need all this stuff. It's not like we're going to do this forever, but you need to do it for a while
Hmm.
till you get that ship in shape.
Yeah, I do much better with routines
Yeah.
and schedules.
Yeah.
I'm just not good at doing
Right.
making them.
Right. So that's a great place for him to step up. And you just sit down
Awesome.
and here's what you say if you really wanted like really make his day. I need you. I can't do this without you. I need you. I really, really need you. Okay? I mean, even if it's hard, even if you're mad at him, he needs that. He needs
Hmm.
to feel successful. He needs to feel part of this. Okay? I can't tell you how important this is. All right?
Yeah, we
Okay.
definitely, I mean, anybody needs that. So it
And
is something that needs to be
men
done.
especially, and when they are married to women that are in fight or flight because they're moms that have kids with disabilities, we turn into different human beings. And we're not the people they married. So there's a little bit of stuff that needs to happen here to get
Hmm.
everybody back on track, okay? So that's an overarching like thing that you need to start with.
Yep.
Like I said, use AI, schedule all of your free time. Needs to, even if we're going to have a half an hour of sitting and not having something structured, that's structured. Just try it. And you're not going to do it 100%, but even having some of that in your day is going to help you.
Absolutely.
And your sleep is really important, and eating a lot of protein is really important for you, and staying off sugar is really important for you, you know?
That's a hard one.
Yes, I know.
I
I know.
Yeah, I was doing really well with that. And but when it's hard,
I know. So find other
especially
rewards.
around this time of year.
Yeah. And find, it's okay if you cheat here and there, but I'm just saying
Hmm.
as a reward, as running to it for your reprieve and your reward and yeah, we got to get a different reward. It's got to be a hot bath. It's got to be stretching quietly, light some candles, make a really good tea in a beautiful teacup. Do some, even if it's a 5 minute thing that you can do, some little ritual, because we're really good at rituals. Once we get them started, we'll do them, right?
Hmm.
So get some really beautiful rituals for yourself, that can replace that, because that will make you more chaotic. That's going to make you more chaotic. It's going to be
Yeah.
hard for you to do that. So, had the high protein, and the more protein you eat too, the less you'll crave sugar, right? Just,
Ooh,
yeah.
that's good.
Okay, so that's like ADHD basics. I have to plug my other podcast, but I have another podcast on ADHD in women if you want to watch it.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
And then I also have ADHD behavior tips that just came out today, and that works for all your kiddos. So make sure you watch
Okay,
that too.
awesome.
That'll give you a lot of quick and dirties that I don't have time to give you today.
Hmm.
Okay, so
Perfect.
watch that. I'm going to recap the 4 things we're going to do. Um, and in your structure too, you got to carve out time for your husband. I know that's nearly impossible, but you guys got to have something that isn't about the kids.
Hmm.
You got to.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And then the other thing I'm going to go over now before you have to hop off. Again, you've gotten lots of behavior training. I want to look at the overreaching big stuff first and have you start tackling it. And then we'll meet in a couple weeks, maybe, or 3 weeks or whatever.
Perfect.
And maybe we'll talk about how much better that's going. Because I think as ADDers too, we need accountability. Like I got
Yes.
better when I had a behavior coach that would come over every week. And mine was lucky because this was back when they didn't do that either. And that's why I went back to school for this, because she's just saved my life. So she would come over every week and go, "Are you doing what we talked about?" "No, you're not." "Okay, I'm going to help you make those charts. I'm going to help you do this." So even if you have a friend that you've been wanting to see and get away and have lunch with, have her come over and help you put the pictures up one day. It'll be fun. You'll feel like you're not in it alone, and you'll
Hmm.
get the
I
task.
do much, much better with things like that.
We all do. Yeah, we
Yeah.
all do. So have friends. And I guarantee you've got friends that are sitting around that don't know how to help you. They're watching
Yeah.
you drown and they don't know how to help you. So have them come over, or have them do your laundry while you're putting up all your pictures. Listen, little side note, best way to get close to people is to ask them for help. The best way to solidify your relationships with the people closest to you is to ask them for help.
Which is crazy because a lot of like you would think you're like being a burden or things like that.
Exactly. So you don't ask and they don't feel close to you, because they watch you drowning and they can't do anything about it, and they just go away because they can't watch that and not help. But they don't know how to help. They don't know what to do. So you
Hmm.
give them a task. Come over. I need you to hang out with him while I put these pictures up. I need you to whatever. I need you to put the pictures up while I do this. Just so you're not in it alone, okay?
Hmm.
Um, the other thing, the last thing I want to go over before you got to get off is RDI. Okay, so some of these behaviors, a lot of them, you'll learn on one of my other podcasts that hopefully you'll listen to, because then you'll get more input. And then when we meet back, you'll be more like ready to talk about other things. I won't have to repeat the stuff I've already done, if that's okay.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what will be really helpful then is you're going to see that they're going to do things. You're going to start watching everything they do. Are they doing it to escape a task? Are they doing it to connect or receive something? Or are they doing it for sensory? The only way you'll know sensory again is if they're doing it in a room alone. It's very rare that it's sensory. It's usually the other
Hmm.
two. So if it's something that they're trying to get, yes, they can have that as soon as they do what you need them to do. And
Hmm.
that's going to be everything in your house all the time. Like no free things. Everything they want, they get for doing something that you need them to do. That's the new system. Okay. And that's in place. One of the things they're going to want from you that they're not going to communicate is your connection, not your
Hmm.
attention. Attention, telling them they're irritating you or yelling at them, is attention.
Hmm.
And they will keep working for that even though it's negative. So I like the word connection because what they really, really want is you. And
Yeah.
you, especially having ADHD and being completely stressed out and being in fight and flight all the time because of your crazy situation, right? You are hardly ever present. I mean, I don't even know you, and I can tell you that just based on your circumstance. How often are you really in your body and really there?
Now I'm in my head
Right,
and
right.
above
Okay.
constantly.
So thank you for admitting that and bless you for knowing that, right? Because a lot of us just don't know that. That's what they want. They want you back in your body and they want you in the moment.
Hmm.
And that's going to be the hardest thing to fix. But if you can fix that little by little, not overnight, not perfection, little by little, um, they're going to heal. They're going to get better.
And
Okay?
that's what we want.
That's what we want. So there's a little exercise. You're going to take a timer. It's called RDI, it's Stanley Greenspan, and it's called floor time therapy. And it's got a fancy name and a bunch of academics about around it. But what it really is giving them that present self. That's really what it is. Okay. Because that's really what their behavior is screaming out for that. So what you're going to do, not related to anything that they're doing wrong or any of that, we'll worry about that structure later. Other than you looking
Hmm.
for the function of the behavior, practice looking for the function of the behavior. And when you think it's that they want something, you're going to give them that item after they do something that they want, like that you want, like point at it, say the word, ask for it nicely, stop hitting their brother, or whatever.
Hmm.
You're going to pair it with your presence. As you give them an item, you're going to take a breath, you're going to be there, you're going to look at them, and you're just going to take a moment and let there be space. They're going to feel it, okay? And then they're going to get that item and they're pairing it with you. The other thing you're going to do is start by 5 minutes a day with each of them. So that's 15 minutes out of your day. You're going to go to each one of them at some point in the day, and you are going to get down on the floor with them while they're playing, and you are going to get into their play. So most of their days now and for the rest of time, it's going to be adults pulling them into the adult world. They even
Hmm.
do that in school. We never ever as adults try to get into their world. We always want them, we're always pulling them out into our world. They don't feel connected that way. They don't feel like you know them at all because they're just doing stuff to serve us all day, right? So you're going to take just start with 5 minutes a kid and just you walk up and you sit down, say they're lining up the cars.
Hmm.
You're going to sit down next to him and go, wow, look at those cars. And you're not going to start lining them up. You're not going to interfere. You're not going to start going, well, it would be better like this, or let's go this way, because that's what we do as adults. So now, again, we're trying to get them in our world, which kind of stops the interaction. It stops the connection,
Yeah.
shuts them down. So instead, you're going to sit down and go, ooh, I like the yellow one. Ooh, you've got lots of different colors there. And you never ask them a direct question because kids on the spectrum don't necessarily comfortable answering direct questions anyway, and yours are kind of nonverbal. So what you're going to do is you're going to say I wonder statements, and you're not going to look for an answer. And you're going to say it even though they're not as verbal, they still understand you. So you're going to be like, I wonder where this line is going. I wonder why you put them in that order. I wonder which one's your favorite. You say, I wonder which one's your favorite. It might not be immediate, but a couple minutes later, they're going to show you their favorite one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So
awesome.
it's that simple. And I just want you to start with 5 minutes each kid and set a timer just to get yourself to discipline to do it because you're eventually going to move up to 10 minutes each kid. And eventually, when you get this down and you have structure, you're actually going to put these blocks into your structured day. So it's like once you get them through the hardest part of their day, they get 15 minutes of special time. And that's a
That's
time where you
great.
let them drive the whole activity. They are in charge. They are showing you. You are 100% present.
Yeah, and I guess that's the huge part that I have trouble figuring out as well. So that's
Yeah.
awesome. Like having structure and figuring out how to do that is
Yeah.
amazing.
I know.
I'm excited for that.
I know because I was there. I know. I get it. I get it. So yeah, so that's so start that. Start that right now. Okay? So let's go over it again and it's going to be disciplined for you to do this. You ask
Yeah.
your husband to get on you about staying disciplined too.
Yes.
Honey, I really need your help. I got ADD. I suck at this. We're not going to get better here until this gets better. I need you to help me with this. You're really good at this. Please, you know? Okay? That serves a few purposes.
Yes.
Okay. And so, number one, again, we'll go backwards. You're going to work on this 5 minutes a day, just 5 minutes a day. And when you see how successful it is, you'll want to increase the time. When you see how much it works, and then so the RDI is the 5 minutes a day for each kid that you're in their world, letting them lead. And it's also when you're giving them something that they've earned. You're stopping and you're being present so they can feel
Mhm.
you there. And that's going to pair with that reinforcement. Okay?
Mhm.
That's one. The second thing is your husband. You're going to delegate that and you're going to delegate things to friends. And you're going to start having friends that want to help you and they don't know how. You're going to start asking them over. Okay? And asking
Awesome.
them to help you and give them tasks. Okay? The third one is the structure. Just like I said, use ChatGPT and your husband sit down together, structure a day. Just start with Saturdays and Sundays, like your worst days of the week, because you have nothing else structured of the day.
Mhm.
And just at least, even if it's overwhelming to structure the whole day, at least structure parts of it. And you'll see how much better those parts go. And it will reward you and make you have it in you to structure more of the day because you'll feel
Awesome.
rewarded. Okay, and then the most important part is you've got to get out of fight and flight. So you've got to spend, even if you have to get up an hour early, you're exhausted, you're tired, it doesn't matter. You've got to have time where you like get a weighted blanket for yourself off Amazon. Have do hot baths if that works, or do cold showers if that helps you sensory wise to get you back in your body. Um, same stuff we do for our kids, swinging, spinning, hugging. Like,
Mhm.
you don't want your husband to touch you. So what you do, I'll tell you right now, what you do is when you're out of sorts, you ask him to come from behind. Don't come at you. It feels claustrophobic, and
Yeah.
that's what you're having a hard time with. So you ask him to hug you from behind and only from shoulders down. So he just wraps his arms around you like this and squeezes, and you have to breathe and take it in. And it'll realign your central nervous system.
Awesome.
Okay? That's all I got for you for today. I
I
tried to
love it.
cram a lot in just so you could feel like you got something.
No, this is huge. Like huge. Thank you.
All
I'm
right,
excited to try everything.
go try some of this. You won't do
I
it
will.
perfectly. You might even forget after we get off. You'll be able to rewatch it if you need to.
Yeah.
Please watch my other episodes because I do
I
cover
will.
a lot of this stuff, especially the ADHD tips that came out today. We'll have a lot of this stuff in there. Just keep doing it. And we have ADHDers, whatever, we have working memory issues. So it's like you've got to be told this almost every day.
Yeah.
So you've got to write it down and like read it every morning because you'll forget and you'll get off into
Yeah.
something else. Right. Okay. I get you. I see you. I just totally adore you. And you are not in this alone. You are not in this alone. And that is why I'm doing this thing, because I felt so alone for so many years. And I don't want other women to feel that way. I just don't, because we are all so much closer than we think we are. Okay.
I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to talk again. And thanks again for being
Definitely.
brave enough to go on this. Thanks for being here with me on Talks Too Much. If today's episode helped you see things a little clearer or you feel a little less alone, I'd love for you to share it with someone who needs it. And don't forget, have faith that struggles you're in will soon be your strength. I'll see you next time.